Assalamu alaikum dear students. Hope so all of you are fine and doing well. Dear students, let me take you on a journey. Imagine a peaceful autumn morning. Golden leaves are falling. The air is cool and fresh. And a young girl is on her way to school. But her journey isn't easy. Every single day she has to cross a flowing river to reach her school. It takes courage, determination, and strength. And yet she never misses a day. Dear students, today we are going to explore a beautiful and inspiring story called The Sister of Mountains, which shows the determination, strength, and courage of a 12-year girl named Parivash. Before diving deep into the story, first of all, we will have to get a look on the character list. Parivash is the protagonist of the story, a 12-year-old girl, brave, kind-hearted, and helpful. Secondly, we have an elderly woman, a traveler in danger, represents gratitude and wisdom. Thirdly, there was a young child who accompanies the elderly woman, and we have a group of travelers who were crossing the river and faced the danger. And the last character is a school teacher who encourages lessons of kindness and courage in the classroom. The setting of the story is about an autumn morning at Mountain Village. Dear students, Parivash, a 12-year-old girl, has to cross a flowing river to reach her school every single day. On an autumn morning, she crosses the river as usual. She turns back and notices a group of travelers struggling, including a woman and a young child. They are in need of help. Now, students, think for a moment. What would you do in this situation? Dear students, Parivash had a choice. She could continue to school on time or she could stop and help. And you know what she chose? She chose kindness. Despite the dangerous river currents, Parivash runs to help them. Showing bravery and compassion, the elderly woman calls her the spirit of the mountains. At the day Parivash arrived late at school, her teacher acknowledges her bravery and taught a story about kindness, courage, and helping others. Parivash reflects on her actions, knowing she did the right thing despite the danger. Now, students, we will read the story line by line. In the beautiful mountains of northern Pakistan, where the tall peaks touch the sky and the rivers sing their all songs, there lived a 12-year-old girl named Parivash. She had long black braids that moved with the wind, and her bright eyes sparkled like the clear stream that flowed through her village. Her home was high up in the hills, where her family worked as shepherds and farmers. Every day, Parivash walked along the rocky paths to her school, which was a small stone building where the children of the valley learned to read and write. She was in class 3, where the lesson was simple but important. Her mother, a wise woman of the mountains, always told her, "Knowledge is the best tool you can carry, my daughter, but your heart is the compass that will guide you." Parivash remembered these words because they made her brave and kind. One cool autumn morning, after finishing her work, Parivash set off to school with her books tied up in a bundle. She passed by the river that ran through the valley. The water was fast and moved around smooth stones. As she walked along the path, she saw a group of people standing by the riverbank looking worried. Curious, she walked over to see what was happening. A group of travelers, including an old woman and a young child, was stuck on the other side of the river. The bridge that used to connect both sides had fallen down, and now they couldn't get across. The river was too strong for them to swim across safely. Without thinking twice, Parivash decided to help. She remembered those secret paths that went along the river but were hidden by the tall grass and trees. Her father and brothers had taught her how to be careful around the river and how to find safe places to cross. She ran up the path soon. She found a place in the river where the water was shallow and the current was slower. She knew she had to hurry. The travelers were getting scared, and the water was too strong for anyone to cross easily. Parivash crossed the river to the other side and waved to get their attention. The old woman looked worried, but Parivash smiled and called out, "Don't worry, I'll help you cross." She pointed to the safe path along the river. The young child, looking amazed, held on to her hand, and they began to walk carefully along the narrow rocks. With each step, Parivash made sure they stayed safe, helping the old woman cross slowly but steadily. The others followed, feeling sure of themselves. After a little while, everyone had crossed the river safely. The happy travelers thanked Parivash, their faces filled with joy. "You're like a mountain spirit, Parivash," the old woman said. "You saved us today." Parivash smiled as she had helped people who needed it, just like her mother had taught her. After saying goodbye to the travelers, she continued on her way to school, her mind still thinking about what had just happened. When she arrived at school, Parivash was a little late, but her teacher, Mrs. Ahmed, smiled when she saw her. "Ah, Parivash, always helping others," she said. "Today we are learning about kindness and courage, and you have shown both." As the lesson began, Parivash sat at her desk, feeling proud of what she had done. She knew that while the river could be dangerous, it had also taught her important lesson about bravery, kindness, and the power of helping others. That day the mountain air felt fresh and the sun seemed to shine a little brighter. She knew that in future she would always be ready to help anyone in need, no matter how hard the challenge. Dear student, through the story of Parivash, we get the message of courage, bravery, and kindness. Dear students, courage is not just about being brave for yourself. The real courage is to be brave for others. Dear students, always remember even a small act of kindness can make a big difference. Students, here are the list of the important words and synonyms from the story. Take a deep look and try to construct sentences from these words. Students, now it's time for your home task. Reread the story and answer the following questions. That's all for today's lesson. If you have any question, you can hit it up. Thank you.